So, for our CSL project, we did the campus food bank. So, my part of the presentation is introduction of our CSL group. So, our organization's name is the Campus Food Bank. What does our organization do? Our organization helps provide food baskets for families and also students. The food baskets include box pasta shells that you boil, pasta sauces, canned meats, snacks. How does the organization impact the community it serves? It impacts it by helping those who can't always afford food to feed their families by providing food baskets with a variety of food and also snacks for families with kids. So snacks include like fruit bars. They also help students who can't afford groceries, and also their website provides cooking videos to show you how to make some easy recipes. So part of our group project was we had to create a cooking video with items from the food basket. So like an easy pasta dish that you would create would be like 5 minutes. It was so much fun to do that.
Due to the global pandemic, the University of Alberta's Campus Food Bank has shifted to delivering its food education through a digital platform. As a result, our project involved making 5 instructional cooking videos that would be posted on the CFB website and could be watched by users of the food bank. While another group was responsible for making cooking videos using low-cost food ingredients, our group had to come up with recipes and make videos based primarily on food items that were provided in the food bank hampers. The process of working on our project goes as followed. Firstly, each individual group member had to explore the Campus Food Bank website and do their own research on what food items were provided in the hamper. Next, we're each responsible for either finding or creating our own recipes using these food items. If any ingredients in our recipes were perishable and were not provided by the hamper, we had to make sure they were both low in cost and typically something that you'd find at home. After finding the perfect recipe and collecting the necessary ingredients, we are then all ready to start shooting our cooking videos. After filming, editing, and finalizing our video, we each sent our cooking videos to Maddie, where they will soon be published on the food bank website.
What problems was our group project meant to address? Our group project was tasked with addressing the gap in cooking knowledge of campus food bank clients. Many of the clients are students who most likely do not have the cooking skills or equipment to make good, well-balanced meals. Or other clientele who had larger families had voiced issues with making decent meals to provide for the family with the basic ingredients provided in the food hamper. The issue of little cooking knowledge and not knowing what to do with provided hamper menu items created a problem in clients not consuming healthy, well-balanced meals. We needed to find a way to educate clients in cooking in a way that accommodates their needs and will be accessible to all.
Hello, my name is Avery Lynn, and for my CSL placement, I was placed in food bank group number 2, and for our project, we were supposed to make a recipe video that helped with finding simple ingredients and making good recipes with them from the campus food bank hampers. So how did our project address the problem issues in part C? Our projects address this issue by creating healthy, well-rounded recipes that are basic and easy to cook. The recipe videos we created are easy to follow along with and are made with pretty simple ingredients. We took into account that we needed to use kitchenware, that being appliances and different cooking utensils, which would be mainly accessible to most individuals. For the information and skills I developed throughout this project, I definitely say I have developed skills in creating videos and also communicating through technology instead of in person, which is definitely harder. And I think I definitely learned a lot about Zoom and creating skills in iMovie that I've never really done before. So it was actually very, very good. I also acquired skills in cooking recipes and creating recipes, which is very beneficial for future. I learned a lot about my CSL placement, including how the campus food bank operates, what type of food they prefer people to donate, and the many volunteering opportunities available within the program. I learned how to create food using just the basic kitchenware and simple ingredients available, which I think is very necessary to know how to do. For concept and connection, a concept that connected to my project would be food insecurity within Edmonton, and even more specifically at the U of A campus. I think that people forget how big food insecurity in Edmonton is actually like such a large problem, and it definitely needs to be addressed a lot more. This concept has heavily connected to my project because there are a lot of students who are in financial trouble or constraint, which creates a lack of access to food. So a lot of people genuinely do not know where their next meal is coming from.
Okay, I think I'm unmuted. Brooklyn, if you can't hear this, I'm so sorry. But I'll just start talking now. Oh, okay. So, do I introduce myself? I will. Okay. Hi, I'm Nyomi, and my portion of the group project was question E of number 2, which is what output did you produce or are still producing? So by the end of the semester, each of our group members will have produced one video totaling 5 that will demonstrate simple but nutritious recipes that users of the campus food bank can watch when they receive their food hampers full of ingredients. So for my reflection piece, something I've learned from this project is through creating these videos for the campus food bank, the programs it offers, I gain insight into the amount of students who are actually at risk of going hungry at the U of A. And applying concepts from the course to the project, I thought that the sustainable diet was a smart one to go with because on paper it looks great, but understanding the sustainable diet is what's best for both the environment and our health is a complicated concept to apply when in reality so many of us are students who can't afford to be sustainable or even choose nutritious options. Me as a student, I would love to be, vegan and drink oat milk, but honestly, sometimes I just don't have the income to do that or to pick, organic or so on and so forth. So really it's always, it always sort of comes down to money and what I can afford at that time, whether that's nutrition or not. Okay.
One thing that I learned throughout the course of my CSL experience is that although Canada fails to explicitly mention the right to food in the Charter, community response initiatives like the Campus Food Bank significantly contribute to the reduction of hunger within communities. Most of the food bank users are students who likely wouldn't have been able to tackle on full-time jobs prior to the global pandemic. As a result, they would not have been qualified for supplementary government payments during the shutdown. Food assistance programs like the Campus Food Bank therefore protect the most vulnerable members of the university's community during the most unprecedented times. Now that I have done an extensive amount of research on the types of food items the food bank requires, the best time of year to help, and other modes of assistance such as instructional cooking videos, this project has provided me with the necessary skills and knowledge to effectively volunteer with more food bank programs in the future. One concept from AREC 173 that applies to the Campus Food Bank project involves the effects of food insecurity on bad health choices. Throughout the course of my CSL experience, I learned that it is often incredibly difficult to develop a healthy recipe with adequate nutritional value while on a budget. After conducting all my research on food bank items provided in the hamper, I realized that it was going to be far more challenging to put together a recipe that satisfies both criteria than I had initially thought. At the beginning of the project, I was wanting to create a dish with quinoa as my base in opposed to pasta, but after factoring in the costs, I noticed that using quinoa as a base in place of pasta would result in a relatively greater expense. This is important because although pasta may be a cheaper alternative, it lacks the substantially greater nutritional value that quinoa possesses. This is the first time that I recognize that most students, especially those living on their own, may have to face trade-offs that result in either compromising one's health or one's financial security.
So for connecting to my project, some information and skills that I learned was recording a video, also editing it, which is not as easy as some people would think. You have to make it nice, short, and sweet so people, don't get distracted. Like quick 3 to 5 minute video is always nice, and this was so much fun to create. I learned about how important the campus food bank is to the people it helps with affording groceries and getting groceries to help feed their families, and how the campus food bank also helps young students with groceries and providing those cooking videos for people who don't usually cook all the time and maybe are living on their own for the first time. So giving them some extra information on how to cook. So concept and connection. Food insecurity. I never knew how important food insecurity was until I looked deeper into what the campus food bank does and how it helps, and also the impact it has on people with providing these groceries and these food snacks for kids, which is also very sweet. I think that they do that, providing the snacks for little kids. A sustainable diet. Having a sustainable diet is very important to overall health, but also the environment. Through the campus food bank, I have seen how it is very difficult for students to have a sustainable diet because they can't always afford correct groceries to keep healthy. So things like fruits and vegetables aren't always the cheapest things to buy at the grocery store, right? Because they're fresh. So when the campus food bank provides these things for students and keeps them healthy, it helps with brain power too, which is very important for university.